What are 4 brutal business lessons that you won't want to hear, but will make you money in 2025? Obviously, this is originally a Medium article that did really well, and I had a few questions on it, and I thought I'd just expand via this YouTube video. So some backstory is that previous to having the sales and marketing business that I have now and living as a digital nomad, I created my first one-person business back in 2023, and this was a procurement consultancy. So this was me helping construction and infrastructure companies win government tenders through ghostwriting their submissions. And I did it for about 12 months, and then I, being a very newbie entrepreneur, made a lot of mistakes into my journey. So I didn't manage cash flow properly. Clients ghosted me, and I also didn't manage my tax implications very well. So it got to the point where I was actually traveling overseas. I remember this, I was in Cambodia, and my accountant emailed me saying he needed to call me. So I gave him a call on WhatsApp, and he just told me that we had these bills coming in. I had to pay this tax bill. And basically, I was in quite a bad financial position afterwards. I had a couple of clients who were one paying me, one actually didn't pay one of their retainers for the month, and also another one that just straight up ghosted me. And this was supposed to be a very big project that I was going to land. And sitting there in the Cambodian hostel, I felt like an absolute failure. Fast forward a couple of weeks actually, I came back to Australia, Melbourne. I had to. I kind of was running out of money in my business account. And I went to bed every day for that period, coming back, crying, having anxiety most days. But 6 months later, I recovered the business back to 20K per month, and I actually sold that procurement consultancy to a bigger consultancy. And, I don't want to go into what happened there, but I sold it, and it was a real learning experience. And some of the brutal lessons that I had to learn this way from this journey of things I wish I knew earlier. So here it is, which is number 1, you are the problem. So at the time of writing, I'm about to cross 22,000 Australian dollars per month in my business, which is incredible. And when I started to reach that number, I went to bed with anxiety, and I couldn't really understand why. This should have been a very, very happy moment for me. My business goal for the first quarter of this year, actually, I'm recording this in 2025, was to hit 22K per month. And I had actually achieved this 4 months earlier. So I think I wrote this late last year. And immediately I had thoughts of, you don't deserve this. What if this all goes away? And I started to have imposter syndrome. Like, I don't deserve this. People are going to find out that I'm not a real entrepreneur, whatever that means. And the fear started to strangle me while I tried to sleep. And I'm still, struggling with this now, and I don't have all the answers. But what I can tell you is that on this entrepreneurship journey, your competitors are not going to kill you. Your competitors are not the real enemy. The only enemy is the one on the inside. And now whenever I hear those voices of, you don't deserve this, or this imposter syndrome, I will ask myself, what evidence do I have that confirms that this is true? And where is this thought coming from? And unfortunately, most of it is actually coming from the voice of my parents, which is kind of crazy because they loved and supported me. But a lot of it comes from, the childhood I had being raised as an immigrant, of their connection to money and actually making money, and how you need to be working hard to make money. And this is where I just realized that I don't actually have to listen to any of the voices in my head, and I can make money, as much money as I can, and still feel and ignore most of my feelings about it and most of the thoughts that I have about it. So I acknowledge that it's there, but, I don't really pay attention to it anymore. And the biggest thing that I've come from this, whether it's from my first one-person business journey to what I'm doing right now, is that I am the biggest liability to my business. My current skill set, my current mindset are things that have helped me get where I am, but won't be the thing that gets me into the next place. So I'm always of the belief that what got you here won't get you there, and you constantly need to be improving yourself and making sure that you become an asset to your business and not a liability. And at every income stage, your assets that worked at getting you to 10K per month will probably become a liability at 15K per month. And then you need to create new assets, which is new skill sets and new mindsets and new beliefs. And the beliefs, skill set, and mindset that you have at 15K per month, that's an asset, will become a liability at 20K per month. So it's a never ending cycle of growth and death and growth and death. So what will help you grow at 10K will be the death of you at 15K, so on and so forth. It just never ends, which is why I love entrepreneurship. It's just a never ending game with yourself. The second thing I learned is that you are a commodity. So I often hear people say it's too saturated or competitive in a particular niche, market, whatever, product or service. I hear that a lot. And if you are saying that to yourself, it's because you're not being unique enough. The internet, for better or worse, rewards weird people. If you've got a niche interest, a weird obsession, or a hobby with the internet and the leverage of the internet, you can turn that into a viable business. You just need to have the interest that you have, and you need to combine it with skills of sales and marketing and content creation to make it more valuable to someone else. So the aim of succeeding on the internet is not to become like everyone else. It's to just unapologetically embracing who you are. And this is not easy. And the reason why most people don't do it is that some people will hate you, and that's okay, because some people also it also means that some people will love you. You can't do something to 84,000 medium followers, which is where I'm at, without some level of people hating you. Like if you read my comments, they now get hate comments on them. It's just impossible to operate at that scale without saying something that's going to rub someone the wrong way. It's just literally impossible. So in order to be loved, you have to be hated to an extent. And if you're not disliked, you're not being unique enough. You want to turn off the wrong people so you can turn on the right people. And that's the game of the business, especially if you're building an online business. And it's proven because I've actually been able to carve out a very profitable niche, I say the inverted commas, for myself in probably the most competitive niches out there, which is self-improvement and business. They are the most saturated niches. And how did I do it? I just embraced my quirks. So yes, I'm in self-improvement and I'm in business, but I combined it with my love for reading, my obsession with writing, my desire to travel the world, my constant hunger for durian, my Southeast Asian heritage and upbringing, my curiosity for sales, marketing, and business. So I just went down the route of becoming more unique rather than less. And when you combine these things, I become a category of one. There's no one else who's perfectly like me who has all those other things inside of them as well. So that's why you want to embrace the unique combination of skill set and mindset and personality that you have. So don't try and imitate anyone. That wouldn't feel right. Be inspired, but don't imitate. So the overall lesson, and I should have actually referenced Naval Ravikant here, is that you can escape competition through authenticity. We'll get back to the podcast in 1 minute, but I just wanted to let you know the sponsor of this week's episode, which is me. So I've got a free 5-day email course that will help anyone with a 9-to-5 or a beginner solopreneur start and scale their business to $1,000 per month. So you can find the link in the description in this podcast episode. Click on it. It's free to sign up. You'll get 5 emails from me teaching you and walking you through how to start your one-person business and make your first $1,000 per month recurring. So I'll see you there, and thank you for listening to this episode. The third one here is you are a vitamin, and you want to become a painkiller, not a vitamin. Whenever I speak to solopreneurs saying they feel stuck in their income, I always ask, so what problem are you solving? And I'm always really stunned to hear that when most solopreneurs can't answer that basic question. They say, I'm solving clarity or focus or time management. And inevitably, those things are not powerful enough for you to become a painkiller. Because solving clarity, like what does clarity even mean? And then if they can't think about what they solve, they fall back on the actual tool they use. So it's like, well, I create marketing strategies, but what does that solve for? I do SEO. Again, what does that solve for? So people don't buy strategy or SEO. They buy wealth, health, or relationships. These are the eternal markets of the world. These are the eternal problems that all human beings, regardless of where they are in the world, are trying to solve at any one time. They're either trying to make more money, they're either trying to live longer, or they want to have more meaningful relationships. There's no other category that you can sell into. These are the eternal markets. So you need to attach your product and your service into one of these things, and you become a vitamin. If you don't, let me say that again. If you don't focus on one of these things, wealth, health, or relationships, you will remain a vitamin and not a painkiller. And you want to become a painkiller. So this is how you can rework the marketing strategy or SEO into something that is a painkiller. I create strategies to help you grow from 6 to 7 figures per month. That's the wealth. I get you listed on the front page of Google so you can get 10 qualified leads every week. So again, this is solving for wealth and it's related to SEO, but I've reframed it differently to become a painkiller. I improve your mental health so you can reconnect with your partner. Again, this is solving the relationships problem, but it could also, and kind of health at the same time. So obviously these markets are interlinked at some level, but you need to be really crystal clear about what you're solving and for who and what this means for them when it comes back to the eternal market, and then you become a painkiller. So with your offer, positioning is everything. If you are vague in your offer, you'll become vague in your outcomes, and a confused mind does not buy. They need to have clarity and specificity in what you're going to achieve for them. So without that, vagueness produces a vitamin, clarity and focus produces a painkiller. Again, the last one here is just simply you suck, and that's okay. Everyone sucks. I suck. I still suck to some regards. So everyone starts here. And I would say that the first 18 months of entrepreneurship is probably the hardest it will ever be because you suck. You just don't know what you don't know. And that is a terrible place to be in. But if you're in that place right now, I can assure you that it only gets easier, again, in inverted commas, because you get better. Your problems don't get easier. They actually get more difficult, but you just become a better entrepreneur because of two things. You have the right skills and you have the right beliefs. So the first 12 to 18 months of entrepreneurship for me is basically just self-improvement. You are teaching yourself how to learn. You are teaching yourself how to develop resilience. You are teaching yourself how to become a better entrepreneur, how to look at things from a systems perspective, how to not take things so personally, how to deal with problems in your business because they're inevitable. So at the start, you're just going to suck, and that's okay. But there are two things you need to focus on, which is focusing on getting better, so in your skills, or having better beliefs. So skills are pretty easy to solve. Most information and knowledge, again, can be acquired on the internet with zero to low cost. And hiring a coach like I have can just shortcut this even faster. And also I coach solopreneurs to add 2 to 5K to the monthly recurring revenue. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Shoot me a DM or a comment in the comment section. Beliefs, on the other hand, are a lot harder because you're trying to undo years and sometimes decades of negative self-talk or imposter syndrome. And this cripples a lot of people I know. So I want you, if you're in that 12 to 18 month first of entrepreneurship, really it's two questions you want to ask yourself. Do I lack the skills and do I lack the proper beliefs? And you need to start with one. And you can usually conquer the other once you've conquered the other one. So if you have the skills but lack the proper beliefs, you can then use skills to get the proper beliefs. And if you solve your proper beliefs, well, then you know what skills you need to solve because you've got better self-awareness. So conquering one helps you conquer the next one. But if I could start anywhere, I would start with beliefs. The other one is that you don't invest in yourself. So I'm a big fan of the UFC. And the one thing I've noticed with the UFC is that all fighters have a coach. Not just one, they have a team of coaches, a jiu-jitsu coach, a striking coach, a mindset coach, a nutrition coach. They are surrounded by a team of coaches to support and challenge them. And these are elite fighters, many of whom have probably been fighting since they could walk, but they still have coaches. They're still investing money and time and energy into getting the right coaches around them. The problem is most solopreneurs don't invest in themselves. It's a mixture of arrogance and ego that prevents them from spending money to get coaching. I don't know why that is the case, but most people and many solopreneurs just think they can do it themselves, which sounds crazy to me. Given that business in many ways can be a lot harder than fighting, although, not as dangerous because you're not getting punched in the face. Metaphorically, you are getting punched in the face. But coaches have changed my life. my book coach, Veronica Lorca-Smith. She's fantastic. You should give her a follow. Helped me get a publishing deal within 2 weeks. My business coach, Jacob Pex, helped me double my business revenue from 9K to 18K in 60 days. I'm looking to hire a video coach to help me turn my written content like this into YouTube and Instagram videos. And that's what I've figured out. You can learn something in 2 ways. You pay with your time or you pay with your money. I'd much rather pay with my time. I would much rather pay with my money than pay with my time. One coaching session with my book or business coach has saved me weeks, sometimes even months, maybe even years of going in the wrong direction. Over time, that compounds. If I have a weekly coaching session over 1 month, I've maybe made 3, 4, 5, 6 months of progress in that 1 month because of the advice I get from my coach. And that compounds over a year. So I can move 4, 5, 6, maybe 10 times faster than someone who doesn't have a coach because I've got a coach. So investing in yourself compounds, and it also pays the best dividends. So again, this took me 18 to 24 months to learn. It's now 2025. I've been doing this solopreneurship thing myself for the last 2 years. So if you want to shortcut your progress and just get where I am now, read this, take the lessons to heart, find yourself a coach, become more authentic, work on your skills and beliefs. And what's the last one here? Yeah. Understand that you are the problem, and you're probably going to always be the problem, and working on yourself. If you like this, I've got a free 5-day free email course to help you make your first $1,000 from your one-person business online. Check that out. That is in the link below. Until then, check out my podcast, check out my free products, check out my paid products, and I will see you in the next one. Peace. Hello, friends, and thank you again for listening to this week's episode of the podcast. If you enjoyed what you heard and got value from the podcast, I would love for you to share it with a friend who also wants to start, grow, and scale their solopreneur business or on their own one-person business journey. And if you could like and subscribe, that would be amazing. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye.